stop is Concourse A, serving Air Canada, Alaska, Allegiant, Frontier, Southwest, Sun Country, and United Airlines.
It has been quite a day. We started this morning at 5:30 a.m. responsibly waking up early to get there to the airport early for our flight to Boston. We get through security and then we get a notification that our flight was delayed 2 hours. We are on the way to Lake Compounce right now. I'm very excited. I've wanted to ride Boulder Dash for quite a long time. With our flight being delayed 2 hours, it cut into our time that we can spend at Lake Compounce today. They're closing at 7 p.m. The trouble is that this is the only day that Lake Compounce is open on this trip. Normally with trips like this, we can kind of rearrange if we take some L's here and there. But today is the only day that we can spend at Lake Compounce because they're closed tomorrow. Never mind. We were about 20 minutes from Lake Compounce and we realized maybe we should look at their social media. Just see what's up, because it is drizzling very lightly today. And they have been closed for 5 hours. They posted that they basically just didn't open today. And they're closed through Wednesday, which is when we're flying home from Boston. Yep. So there goes our chance to ride Boulder Dash. But luckily we were only about 20 minutes from Six Flags New England. So we're just going there instead because they are open. I don't know. Yay, an operational park. We're just gonna make the most out of this evening and then come back tomorrow as scheduled. This is so cool. I've wanted to ride this ride for a really long time as well. Okay, Superman back row rain ride review. That was really good. I'm not gonna lie, that was a lot better than I expected it to be. I've heard some complaints about the lap bars. Me personally, I didn't mind them. Now, they are very stupidly shaped, and I would prefer if it had the Expedition G4 style T-bar, but that was fantastic. Rain ride was a lot of fun. The airtime was way, way, way stronger than I expected it to be. One of the most memorable first rides I've ever had on any coaster. I loved it. That was a pretty okay ride.
Retail stores, games, and ticket windows.
We are going to start fresh tomorrow. At least we got Superman out of today.
Superman was great.
Superman made my day. I'm glad at least Six Flags New England was open. Get a little bit of time before we spend our day here tomorrow. This is the first Six Flags park that we have had on the channel, and this tends to be how our Six Flags visits go anyway. We typically approach them with 2 or 3 things that we know that we're excited for because we really, really love roller coasters, and then we get them done and we ride all the roller coasters, do all the notable rides that they have to do, and then we just get bored and don't really enjoy the park experience. But today has had so many L's that I think we'd rather just go relax at our hotel and start fresh tomorrow. Day 2 on our New England trip. Universe, please go easy on us. We're just going back to Six Flags. We're not going to spend the full day there. And then we're going to head to Boston, explore a little bit. Holy crap. $75. Luckily with our Six Flags pass we get this for free, but oh my god, $75.
Touch those lap bars, get trains on.
This sign is very cool.
I swear the bee is blazing me.
He is off this wall. Bro, I went here the last time. Last time I went here, somebody on it.
True. True. By Six Flags. Good morning, Boston. We are staying here in the Seaport area of Boston. Today and tomorrow, Daniel has a work get-together to attend to here in Boston. So I basically have today and tomorrow to entertain myself around the city. I'm excited. I've never been to Boston before. I booked a 4 p.m. trip on a Boston historical boat tour. I'm very excited. I love boats. Probably impossible to see, but Daniel and his work crew are on this tiny tiki boat.
The left side is called the front side. So you hear me using those terms throughout the tour. That's what I mean. And by the way, most of what I'm going to talk about today is going to be off the right side of the boat. So as long as you can see, towards the right side of the boat. So welcome to Boston, everyone. And they created this land by a process called wharfing out, in which they built wharves out into the water. They built wharves out into the water. They built a wall in between two wharves. They filled in the empty space with earth from these three surrounding hills, displacing the water. Built another wall, filled that space with earth. The British, especially because they were not being represented in their own country. And so in protest, they threw an entire cargo of tea off of 3 Nantucket merchant ships. This is 92,000 pounds of loose leaf tea, a lot of tea. Did this stating no taxation without representation. This is one of the sparks of the American Revolution. This is called the dry dock. This is an example of how they work on large ships like the ship that we're on right now. What they do is they open up that front gate, all of the water rushes into that hollow place, they take the ship in, close the gate, pump all the water out, leaving the ship what's commonly called high and dry. They work on the hull of the ship. Now, other things about this airport. Like I said, it consists of 2,400 acres of man-made land, an incredible amount. They created this using that wharfing out method that I had mentioned at the beginning of the tour, but also using 3 former islands that now essentially sit underneath the airport that have basically just been flattened out to create this land. This fort is situated on Castle Island. Castle Island used to be an island, but it was filled in with man-made land connecting it to South Boston. There used to be a castle here. It's called Castle William, but it was destroyed by the British in 1776 after having occupied the city for quite some time. The fort you see here today is called the Fort Independence. Lieutenant Green was not very well liked among his men. Pretty mad that he had killed their friend. So they got him drunk one night. They took him down to the basement of the Fort Independence. They chained him to the wall. They sealed him in with brick and mortar, and they left him there to die. What a horrible way to go. Well, about 10 years after that happened, it's a true story, and about 10 years after that happened, Edgar Allan Poe was stationed here, famous writer. He heard this story, and he took inspiration from it to write The Cask of Amontillado. So this is called Spectacle Island. First thing I want to mention about Spectacle Island is that rock retaining wall. Like I said with Logan Airport, rock retaining wall equals man-made land. Spectacle Island is not entirely man-made. It used to be one of the shortest islands in the harbor. Now it's the tallest. It grew. How does an island grow? We have a very windy city. Lots of pictures. Full ahead of us is really nice view of the skyline. Again, my name is Liz. Please feel free to ask me. We're only about halfway through. A lot more history to cover. There's a beautiful bar on board the ship. On the patio, there's food, there's games, there's live music. It's just a really fun place to go to. Thankfully, it doesn't take 89 great historic ships here. This first ship that we're sneaking up on is the USS Cassingham. She is a World War II Fletcher-class destroyer. One of the last ships to be hit by a kamikaze pilot off the coast of Okinawa. And that caused someone to exclaim, "Huzzah! Her sides are made of iron." The sides are not actually made out of iron, but it did give her a nickname, Old Iron Sides. Her sides are made out of 22-inch thick Georgia live oak. She sank the HMS Guerriere in only 35 minutes, and at the end of the battle, she had 19 cannonballs stuck in her side. So that will tell you how strong of a girl she is. She has fought in 42 battles. She has not lost one. In order to maintain her active duty status, she must travel at least 1 nautical mile per year. And so every 4th of July, she travels down to the Fort Independence, where we turn around. one gun salute from our very own cannons to honor America. It's always a really cool time to see the Constitution out and about with Fourth of July. I should also mention the Constitution and the Castle Young are both open and available for touring every single day except for Mondays. Some of the best Italian food, incredible Italian restaurants. This is the food mecca of Boston. You gotta go to the North End at some point to get dinner. Of course, go to Mike's Pastries and get a cannoli. That's an important part of our city as well. Maritime law enforcement, national defense if needed. They're a brand new class of ships. All Sentinel class cutters are named after Coast Guard heroes who died in action. This is not a bad picture, by the way. This is actually a great picture. You won't get this view from the land, I'm just saying. I do want to mention there is a clock tower right in the middle. This is the Custom House Tower. It was Boston's very first skyscraper. Fully constructed in 1914. Place to shop. This is about a 2-minute walk from where we're going to dock. That's a great place to go to get some delicious Boston food. We're about to pull right back into Lund Wharf. The last site that I want to mention to you is ahead of us, New England Aquarium. There's normally a sign that says New England Aquarium, but they're doing some construction, so you can't actually see that sign.
I feel like that scene from Bridesmaids, where they try and take the exercise class from a distance. Day 2 of exploring Boston. So my dad is a carpenter by trade, and when I was a kid he would travel all over the country for a couple weeks at a time, a month at a time, and he would construct the interior of piano bars around the country. And like, as a kid, that's the only reason I got to go to Disneyland for the first time and stuff like that. And when he told me he worked in Boston, he told me that it was his favorite city he had ever worked in, and ever since then I had wanted to visit. And look what I found. My dad built that. It's the Tea Party Museum and Ships. I found Daniel. I learned about some stuff on the historic harbor tour, and I made a list of things that I wanted to visit today. Stop 1 is the USS Constitution. Bye. It's the cop slide. Boston cop slide. Okay, so places being allergen friendly is something that's really important to me. We got an apple cider donut and an apple cider cupcake. Another stop along the Freedom Trail, Paul Revere's house. Oh God, he's so fast. I'm gonna get you.